This NLDS Game 2 edition of the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Game Time. Snag the tickets without the stress. Use promo code SGPN on your first purchase to save $20. Download the Game Time app. Use promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Underdog has just added Pick'em Scorches, where you can win 100 times your money. That's right, you can turn $5 into $500 in one game. Plus, every Sunday, they're giving away $100,000. Use the promo code SGPN at Underdog Fantasy for a 100% deposit bonus up to $500. And finally, we're brought to you by Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting research platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Download the Hall of Fame Bets app or visit hofbets.com. Use code SGPN to get 50% off your first month and start making smarter bets today. Welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. My name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Monday, the 9th of October, and we're going to have a look around the NLDS Game 2, which are taking place later today. So we'll keep this short and snappy, give you a chance to get this consumed before you make your plays later on. We'll also have a little look around what's gone on so far in the playoffs. It's been a fun start. Joining me bright and early today, we're on my time today. I feel like we're on my clock, not your clock, Dylan, for once, is Mr. D. Rock. Dylan Rockford, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Mal. Good to be with you. Top of the morning to everyone in the chat. Got Riley, Jason, Matthew as well. So not just me, a lot of people up bright and early. Got the day off, Christopher Columbus Day. So it's been nice. Good to have off.
I feel like you people have a day off like every third Monday. Every third Monday, you're always celebrating some spurious shit or other. I mean, it's like absolute life of Riley. Talking about Riley, you're in the chat. You've got the life of Riley, you boys.
Yeah, I mean, it's just every year there's a new holiday that we get off. I love it.
I wish we could. I've had a little window into your world today, handicapping these games and recording during the day. It's great because in 25 minutes time when we're finished, it's going to be 2:30 in the afternoon. The rest of the day is my own. I could spend some time with the family. I probably won't. I'll probably sit and watch the telly. I've been watching shit daytime telly, which is one of the absolute joys of being off during the day. I've been watching Undercover Boss USA, right? I'm obviously all familiar with that. We have a version of that in this country, and it is so different. It's unbelievable. Like, you get to the end of the USA one and say, right, there's $50,000 for your dying grandma. There's $30,000 for your brother's college tuition. You can have 3 weeks holiday. We get to the end of the British one and they say, thanks for being a great employee. You can leave an hour early on Friday. That's the kind of difference. Like, you can go at 4:30 on Friday instead of 5:30. Where in the US one, they get like $100,000 worth of free stuff. But yeah, shit, daytime telly is the way forward. So playoff baseball, what a funny old weekend, Dylan. The first thing I would say is that all four favourites are now underdogs. The entire series have flip-flopped. Texas are a clear favourite. Minnesota are a favourite. The Phillies are a favourite. And the Diamondbacks are remarkably a favourite. So, I mean, it's been the typical kind of baseball thing. You can handicap them, you can look at them to the nth degree. But on such a short sample size, everybody's absolutely live. I mean, what have you enjoyed the baseball over the weekend?
Yeah, baseball over the weekend was pretty interesting. Like you said, everyone's a favorite. Even the Twins. Twins come back and win yesterday, tied the series 1-1. Now they're the favorite in the series at -114. But yeah, over the weekend, I mean, I just got to give credit to you guys because you guys really hit everything on the head. I put my bias in the handicap. I was rooting for the Orioles, but Scott was right. It looked like the young kids, the inexperienced. The crowd was electric in Camden Yards, but just looked like the moment was a little too big for them. So they're down 2-0 right now. I didn't think Kyle Bradish in the game one pitched all that bad, if I'm being honest. I like the piggyback of Andrew Heaney and Dane Dunning for the Rangers. Astros won game one, like I said. I'm happy for Carlos Carrasco as well. You know, he got a lot of slack A lot of injury talk. A lot of people didn't want to pick him up because of that injury, but comes back, has a big game 2 in the place where he won a championship. So happy for Carlos Carrasco. And the Phillies, man. I think they're Phillies and the Diamondbacks, I kind of think, have been the big surprise. Phillies bullpen has just been flat out amazing this postseason. 3 games, they've only allowed 1 run. They have 9 strikeouts, just 2 walks, no home runs given up. I think that's really been the surprise. Holding a lineup like the Braves to 0 runs is really impressive. Spencer Strider, we knew he was going to allow a run or 2 up, but I mean, I just didn't expect the Braves to lay a goose egg here at home of all places. So I think that was the biggest shocker of the weekend for me. And then the Diamondbacks, I mean, we were talking offline. I just don't know what happened to Clayton Kershaw, man. I turned on the game, and then I turned it off for like 5 minutes. I was flipping through college football. I turn it back off. It's already 6-0, and he's out of the game. I go, well, my bet's done. So, I mean, I honestly have no words. I do not know what happened with Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, well, that was a really funny one because I worked late on Saturday night. I didn't get in till about 2 a.m. But the game started at 2:20, so I thought I'll maybe watch the first inning or whatever before I go to bed. And yeah, I sat there for an hour and was absolutely stunned by what I saw. We'll get onto those NLDS game 1 and game 2 in a minute. But yeah, Texas 2-0 up. Baltimore. Texas are now the World Series favourites, Dylan. Plus 350, I think, for Texas. And they're minus 1250 to win the series now. And I think what we did see here was that Texas were just a little bit further forward in the sort of preparation, sort of mental preparation. We part of the handicap was they were going to hit the ground running. They'd already had a series. And you can talk till you're blue in the face about whether or not the little break benefits the teams that get a bye, because we'll never know, really. You can't answer that question because one team will come out and do well and one team won't. But Texas were ready. Like I say, they bounced back really well from that setback that they'd had on the last day of the season, and they came in with it. Bradish did pitch well. You were absolutely right. Bradish did nothing wrong at all, really. But they did smash into Rodriguez on Sunday evening, even though they were out hit 14-11. I think Montgomery showed an adverse reaction to the 7 innings he'd pitched in the wildcard series. And they've got Nathan Eovaldi going Wednesday. And I think Baltimore need to hope that he suffers the same reaction. But 2-0 up with Eovaldi at home. They've got 2 home games to go and win it. I mean, Texas look home and host there. And that Houston-Minnesota series is really well balanced now. It's well positioned at 1-1. Not much in the lines. Houston at even money. Minnesota is slightly favoured at minus 120. But I think the Twins will be delighted with their position. And again, they seem to take advantage of the momentum that they brought in from the wildcard series. Mm-hmm. So next game up for them is really crucial at home with Sonny Gray on the mound. Mm-hmm. That's their big chance to go 2-1 up.
That's the only series I guess kind of got right, because I did say Twins were going to steal one, and I thought they did a good job. Real quick, if I could go back to the Rangers real quick. The guy Carter, he's just having a hell of a playoff run. I mean, without him, Josh Jung had a big home run as well. And the guy behind the plate, Jonah Heim, he's been great all year. Oh my God. So they really hit a gold mine on that kid. I think with Simeon, Seager's so aggressive. He always swings at the first pitch, which I love. But Mitch Garver as well. I think this team, like you said, their favorite right now to win the World Series at plus 360. Do you find any value with them?
With no, the short answer. See, my sort of, it wasn't a system play because I came down all of these individually, but at the start of the series, I ended up on all 4 dogs, and I'd say I think 2 of them will win, and you end up with profit. Now all 4 have gone favourite. So one of them might slip. I'm not suggesting for a minute all 4 will win, but I just thought it was a lot of them were far too close to calling. The Orioles we handicapped right, and I've been quite high on the Twins for quite a little while actually. I look back at our draft. Do you remember we drafted 16 teams at the start of the season? Yeah, and I've got the D-backs and the Twins in from the teams that I drafted, which you all laughed at. You all very much laughed at on day one. Because I've also got the Padres and some other dog shit in there as well. So I think it's more by luck than judgment. But but yeah, it's just they've all got themselves in good positions, and it's set the series up nicely going forward because the wildcard series were a bit of a damp squib in terms of excitement, just in terms of sort of sport and jeopardy. You had 4 clean sweeps. Texas look like they're in that position, but the rest of them, we need the favourites, so the pre-series favourites to come from behind, and that should make for good sport, really. We'll get into these ALDS games. I'll tell you about Game Time. Game Time helping you get tickets for events, which should not be stressful, but very occasionally is. And Game Time are helping you out with all of that. I saw Sean was at SoFi last night, enjoying the Eagles, duffing up the Rams. His seats looked great, just behind the end zone, behind the pylon. He was about 6 rows back there. Looked absolutely brilliant. They were Game Time seats, and Sean said the experience was fantastic. Killer deals on last-minute tickets. You'll get images of your seat views, low price guarantees, and the Game Time guarantee, where they credit you 110% of the difference if you can find a ticket in the same section and row for less. So you can start looking forward to the event itself without having to panic about the ticketing situation. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code SGPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Create an account, redeem the code SGPN for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. And win bigger by betting smarter this NFL season with Hall of Fame Bets, the sports betting analytics platform for parlays, player props, and game lines. Research every NFL, NBA, MLB, and soccer bet with historical stats and data. Hall of Fame Bets Parlay Optimizer tool is an absolute beauty. It'll break down things like hit rates, expected probabilities, players, who's not, etc. Do all of this at halloffamebets.com or download the app. Use the code SGPN to get 50% off your first month today. Start researching, start winning with Hall of Fame Bets. So, NLDS, Philly at Atlanta. Obviously, Philly lead the series 1-0. They shut out Atlanta. Trivia, Dylan, how many times were Atlanta shut out in the regular season?
Once.
9 times is the answer. But yeah, they'd limited them to just 5 hits. What I did notice was that Philly threw the absolute kitchen sink at this. They used 7 pitchers behind. It was six pitchers behind Ranger Suarez. He went 3 innings, and then they literally just threw everything at it. And why the hell not? You get 1 chance. I noticed you put on Twitter the other night about that stunning double play instigated by Trey Turner.
What a beauty.
Man, that was a real thing of beauty, wasn't it?
Oh my God! It was like it was watching. I can't even describe it. It was just so beautiful. It was like people mating in the infield. I thought it was a sure hit. I thought it was going to be an RBI. And then here comes Gold Glove Trey Turner. And they turned it so effortlessly. I was lost to words. I was like, wow, that's beautiful. And I hate the Phillies, though.
It was balletic. The diamond stop's great by itself. And then obviously you've got the shovel pass to second. And then everyone has to do their job as well. The second baseman has to execute almost perfectly. To get the second runner by half a step. It was really good. And the catcher's interference as well. Bases loaded. What got for me was the catcher's reaction. That was the telltale sign.
He said it exactly. That's what my friend said. He kind of like not admitted, but he reacted in a way where he kind of thought he did interfere a little bit. Yeah.
He pulled his glove back and sort of, a bit like a naughty kid, like when I catch Bob in the biscuit tin. Like, he had the same face. Like, I haven't got... My pockets aren't full of biscuits. What you're talking about? Like, it was the same shit. So, yeah, he knew. So tonight's game... so, on the series now, Philly are -175. In Atlanta, a +155. Philly got a 1-0 lead, and they have their 1-2 punch going now. Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Tonight will be Zach Wheeler against Max Fried for Atlanta. +135 for Philly, -156 for Atlanta, and the total set at 8. Had a little look at Zach Wheeler's numbers: 12-6 on the year, 3.61 ERA. He went 6 2/3 against Miami, in the wild card round, gave up 5 hits and 1 earned run, didn't walk anybody. Now, Miami and Atlanta are 2 very different propositions, obviously. But this just to be demonstrated, the Wheeler won't give up anything cheap. It was the sort of the walk numbers. If Atlanta are going to get to him, they're going to have to get to him genuinely, with their own ability. I don't think Wheeler's going to be at all nervous, wobbly, drop his arse, none of that. Atlanta will have to do it genuinely. The first pick I did like here was under 5.5 strikeout prop on Wheeler, but it was quite heavily juiced. It was about -142 or something. So I steered myself away from that. He did pitch at Atlanta on the 18th of September. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run on a homer. And then before that, I think it might have even been a start before he pitched against Atlanta. He gave up 3 home runs in 6 earned runs, 3 homers. All 4 of those runs were on homers to Olsen, Acuna, Azuna, and Albies. So not really helpful when you try to pick one out. So one good start against Atlanta, 1 bad start against Atlanta. So really, I had nothing on Wheeler at all here. Max Fried hasn't pitched since the 21st of September. He's had a blister. 8-1 on the year with a 2.55 ERA. Love this prop here. His outs prop. Max Fried outs is set at 14.5. And I really like the over. The over would be 12-1 in his last 13 starts, over 14.5 outs. The only issue you've got is that blister. I think you have to take it on trust that he's ready to go. Now, obviously, we know pitchers can be on a bit of a short leash in the playoffs. But I just think I'm happy to take his health on trust. In that record, 12-1, and with a price of -105, I'm happy to take that on. He pitched well at Philly on the 12th of September. My game pick is going to be a first 5 under 4.5 runs is at -125. I don't see why either pitcher won't go well here. In the final play here, I've got is Trey Turner over 1.5 total bases is at +115. He's a big game player. We saw that the other night. We saw that in the WBC. He had 2 hits in that September game that we've just talked about, including a home run, and is 11 for 30 in 33 plate appearances. He's had 3 walks, but 11 for 30 versus Max Fried. So that's a decent enough total. So yeah, they're my 3 picks. The first one is the where am I? Under on the out. Sorry, I lost my thread there. Max Fried over on the out, over 14.5 outs is -105. The first 5 under 4.5 runs at -125, and Trey Turner total bases at +115. Dylan.
Yeah, so give me the Phillies here on the money line +136. I only made the Braves a -110 favorite. The one thing, worrying me and backing the Braves is that you mentioned Max Fried hasn't pitched in 18 days. And reports that I've read on X or Twitter, whatever you call it, the blister is actually really more damaging than we thought. So it could hurt him a little bit. And we've already seen times even this postseason, how the extra rest can hurt you instead of going in your favorite. So at +136, I think getting the hotter team has a lot of value. I think the way Wheeler has pitched in the playoffs against the Fish and against the Braves in the regular season, combined with the plate discipline, their ability to score runs, I got to take the Phillies here again at this number. +136, insane. I even like their team total over 3.5. They scored 3 runs in the first game, but they've gone over it in the other 2 games. And I also like an out prop as well. Zach Wheeler over 15.5 outs at even money. You look at the 3 games that he's pitched against the Braves. He's gone over it in 2 of 3. He went over it in game 1 against the Fish. I just think he's going to, especially since they threw the kitchen sink at the Braves in the first game, I think they're going to have to go 5 2/3, maybe 6 2 2/3 innings. So I think he gets anywhere from like 17 to 19 out. So I think Zach Wheeler, if he's pitching like he did against the Fish, I think he's going to go long in this game. So Zach Wheeler over 15.5 outs at even money. I like the Phillies on the money line, and I even like their team total over 3.5 at -110.
One of the things I've enjoyed most about looking around these games is the fact that there's only 2 games. You have got time to look around all the markets. Obviously, when we're doing a normal 15-day slate, it's just not feasible. But when there's 2 games, you can look around the out market, all the milestones, the play to record a win. And it's been a little bit different for me having a daytime to look around some of these different markets. And there's a couple I really like picking out. Absolute favourite coming up in the Dodgers game that I'll tell you about as well, a player prop. D-backs Dodgers to follow after Underdog Fantasy. Great way to play alongside your football team all season long. Underdog introduced Scorchers. Go 5 for 5 and picking Scorchers. Enjoy a spicy 100x payout for a limited time. Underdog's extending the first deposit bonus up to $500. $100,000 Sundays continue. 10 lucky winners get 10 grand each. Yikes. The Underdog Play of the Week. I think we're out all last week. Dylan and everyone rolled their eyes, laughed at me. Christian McCaffrey under on the rushing yards, cashed without a sweat. It was 77 the line was. I took the lower, finished on 50 something. And you threw out your CJ Stroud plus higher than 250 yards, 280 yards, wherever it was. Yeah. So get involved with those. And my Underdog Player of the Day will be my LA Dodger player prop coming up. So watch along, make your picks, maybe make a little cash over on Underdog's mobile app or website, underdogfantasy.com. When you sign up with the promo code SGPN, Underdog, double your first deposit up to $500. Underdog Fantasy, promo code SGPN. Okay, second up tonight is game 2 of the Diamondbacks at Dodgers. Diamondbacks with the series lead, 1-0, are now minus 140 to win the series, with the Dodgers at plus 120. We touched on it a little bit, but I mean, what I liked, obviously I can't explain the Clayton Kershaw thing the same as nobody else can, but what I did like was that Arizona had a definite plan, and whether it worked or whether it didn't work, at least they're coming into something. How many times this year have we talked about the Padres and the Blue Jays who've got all the ability in the world, but just didn't seem to want to harness it towards anything? Now, Arizona got up there. It's all right. They're not going to die wondering. That's what they thought. We are not going to die wondering. Let's just go and serve it up with them and see what happens. They swung early and they swung often. They were really aggressive. And we mentioned the top 3 of that order. Marte, Carroll, who's an absolute stud, by the way. And then Gabe Moreno as well. Gabe Moreno, for me, might be the trade of the year. He might absolutely be the addition of the year. And baseball is a game where if 2 or 3 players get hot, it's obviously a team game, but if 2 or 3 players can get hot, they can take it away from the opposition. They got it early and often, and I thought they were great. That was the plan. The Dodgers lineup just looks vulnerable. That outfield of Outman's been good, actually.
He's good.
But he made a fielding error in the first at-bat of the game, just a little bit nervous. And then Peralta and Haywood. I mean, that sounds like a Pittsburgh outfield. Like if you saw who's playing, if it's McCutcheon, Peralta and Haywood, you think, oh yeah, that figures. But not the LA Dodgers. Game 2 where you have Gallen at plus 135. You have Bobby Miller at minus 156. And a total of 8.5, Dylan, you can lead us off.
Real quick on the Arizona lineup, even Evan Longoria, old veteran, he's been really good at third base as well. So, this lineup, I appreciate them being very aggressive. Like, if a lot of people were doubting them, they shouldn't be doubting this team anymore because they could play. So, no play on the side, even though I did make the Dodgers a minus 140 favorite here in game 2. Instead, because I do see plus 140s out there for Arizona. Instead of taking the Snakes, I like the over a little more, over 8 at minus 120. I made my total 8.5. Surprisingly enough, the Snakes have been crushing the ball in the playoffs. They're averaging 7.3 runs per game. 2 of the 3 games in the postseason have gone over this number for them. So, again, and this is another position where I would even look at their team total over 3.5. That seems very low for a team that's raking right now. And Bobby Miller's last outing against the Dodgers, he went 4 runs and 6 innings, and that game went over by a mile for the Dodgers. So I think both pitchers here are susceptible to give up a few runs. You got to think the Dodgers are going to act like the Snakes did in game one and come out with some urgency and some aggression and try to go and get a lead and play from the front and not play catch-up baseball, because that's losing baseball. If you're always playing catch-up, it's eventually going to catch up to you. So give me the over in the game. You got to sprinkle a little on the Snakes team total as well, 3.5. The way they've been hitting the ball, I think they could get to this bullpen as well. Remember, the bullpen was used up a lot in game one after going not even getting after the first inning. So yeah, I'm going to take the team total again for the Snakes over 3.5 and plus 140. I think it's worth a shot, but I do like the over. That's the official play.
Michael Lee in the chat, new name to me. Welcome. Dodgers, Braves. He's gone for the chalky favourites money line parlay as Michael. Zach Gallen. He 6 innings, 2 earned runs against the Brewers. I mean, he's been great all season. He wasn't razor sharp in that start against the Brewers, and I honestly wasn't sure about how he was going to go tonight, especially like you say with the Dodgers coming out with that real sense of urgency. So I was really happy to leave Gallen kind of out of my handicapper stuff. He has had 2 bad starts against the Dodgers this season as well. I was more focused in on Bobby Miller here. 10-4 on the year, 3.76 ERA. Was pressed into service a little bit sooner than any of us expected, I think. But I like him. He's had a really good year. Hasn't been as good at home. Has a 4.55 ERA at home, 4-3 record. But what he has given you is really consistent length. He only pitched 4 innings last time at the Giants, but I think that was a maintenance issue. I think they just brought him out just to rest him up a little bit. He wasn't in any trouble. It's not like he was getting shellacked and they pulled him out. Before that, again, so we're on player outs here. Bobby Miller's outs is set at 15.5, so you'd have to go 5 1/3. That's cashed 9 in a row. It's before that Giants start, which, like I say, was maintenance. That would have hit 9 in a row for Miller, and that's plus money. Plus 115 is Bobby Miller to go over. He pitched against the Snakes on August the 28th, went 6 innings. And then I did say I liked the Dodgers player prop. And we're going back to James Outman. We said he did a little boo-boo in the field in game 1. However, it's going to be his total bases prop, which is over 0.5, and the price is plus 265, which is mad. Faced Gallen twice this year. Faced him on opening day, all the way back on May the 30th, March the 30th even. He went 2 for 3 with a home run. Faced him again on August the 28th. Went 2 for 3 with a home run. So 4 for 6 with 2 homers for James Outman against Zach Gallen. And we're getting plus 265 for 1 total base. So I live in hope that Arizona can win, because I've still got my 66-1 World Series ticket going. So I don't need to take a side because I'm cheering on the D-backs. But yeah, I like those 2 player props, which would be Bobby Miller over 15.5 outs and James Outman over half a total base plus 265, Dylan.
That's insane. Plus 265 is ridiculous. I'm looking at the book right now. I'm even seeing plus 1.5 total bases for Outman at plus 190. So it's starting to come up. But no, I like Bobby Miller's as well. He's very consistent. When he's on, they usually let him go at least 6-7 innings. So I do like that as well. Plus money on both plays.
Yeah, that's it. Hopefully you get one over line. I just tried about an hour ago. BetMGM have just launched in the UK. Nice. So I tried to open a BetMGM account to use some of the bonuses, all the free stuff that they give you.
The just free to bets are the best.
Sorry?
I said the free bets are the best, and
yeah. I mean, yeah, me and the IT department have all got 1,000 accounts each, where we've used those. But I couldn't. James Outman wasn't listed. They had just about every player who's ever played for the LA Dodgers, going back to 1900 on that list. But James Outman wasn't on there, so I'll have to check back later on and see if they had him in. Otherwise, I'll just have to go with my standard pick anyway. But I think, Dylan, that's just pretty much covered. Like I said, I've enjoyed this. I've enjoyed being able to look at a few different markets. And I certainly enjoyed a bit of daytime handicapping for once, rather than sitting here at midnight talking to you boys. Anything else you want to add before we let the people go?
No, just good luck. It's been a struggle, though, but I agree. I think it's hard to, keep up with baseball, especially since college football, NFL has been going on. But I know I don't speak for you, but there's nothing like playoff baseball. When you're watching it, it's just much better than the regular season. So can't wait. Hopefully we have 2 good games tonight, and just good luck on all your bets.
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, Dylan. Appreciate you joining us so very early. Happy, what day is it? Christopher Columbus Day. Go out and how'd you celebrate that?
I mean, technically he discovered the Caribbean, but I'm not here to say he discovered America. But yeah, just going to relax today. And we got Monday Night Football as well. You got any player props? I did hit the under. I followed you. So any more for today?
I'll be honest, the short answer is no. I've got I've taken the Raiders. But I didn't have a very good week. After I sat here every night last week and told everyone that would listen, I went 15-1 last week. I think I'm something like 4-9 or 4-10 this week. So I've completely and utterly ate shit and fully deserved after flexing my winning record last week, Dylan.
When's your birthday, Mal?
Oh, mate, it's today of all things.
Oh, happy birthday. Why didn't you say anything? Hey, happy birthday.
Because I'm very, very old, mate. How did you know that?
Someone put it in the chat. Happy birthday, Mal? ? Matthew.
Oh, okay. Right. Yeah, you're right. Matthew was in the NFL chat and the Premier League, I think, yesterday. Yeah, I've got a selection of really rubbish old man presents behind me, Dylan. Socks, that sort of socks off me mum, that sort of stuff. So yeah, nothing very exciting.
I'm offended. We've known each other for 2.5 years now, and you didn't tell me when your birthday was. Oh man.
Well, I see. I'm ancient, mate. I'm well and truly over it. I'm going to sit here and
happy birthday, though.
Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone who's now saying happy birthday in the chat. Trev, Matthew, Riley. Yeah, well, let's have a birthday winner. Let's get James Outman. James Outman can be my present. Over half a total base. And from now on, we'll call October the 9th will be James Outman Day every on the show. Thanks, everyone. I'm laughing at Matthew saying he's got a ton of socks. Good luck with all your bets. Someone will be back tomorrow night. It's not me because I'm at work, but Moon, Af, Scott, Lonte, maybe D-Rock. Have a fun day. Enjoy your day off, Dylan. Thanks for your birthday wishes. Pick some winners. We'll see you down the road. Cheers.